We are turning now to a new study about weight loss surgery. You've probably seen the ads, the billboards, and flyers that promise a new body, a fresh start, a different life. They tell you about the procedures, the possible side effects, and all of the possible changes that you can expect. But there's one change they never seem to mention, the change to your relationship status. According to researchers, people who undergo weight loss surgery are twice as likely to get married, and this is the interesting part, twice as likely to divorce. The study shows 18% of the single people in the study were married within 5 years, compared to the national average of 7%, and 8% of the married people got divorced. That's compared to the national average of about 4%. The marriage side makes a little more sense, really. When people get healthier, they're more confident, they look better, they often attract others. But the divorce side, it's a bit more curious. Do post-surgery people suddenly think they're almost too good for their pre-surgery spouses? Or does one spouse dramatically changing their look cause friction in the relationship? I am joined now by Dr. Wendy King. She is an associate professor of epidemiology at the University of Pittsburgh School of Public Health, and she is one of the researchers who was behind this study. Dr. King, very, very interesting here. Double the amount of people divorced. Is it because of the surgery? I mean, what do you make of what you found?
Well, we know from previous research that couples who have more similar health behaviors are less likely to get divorced. So if surgery prompts a patient to eat better, to exercise more, and adopt new habits, they may be out of sync with their partner. However, some patients report that their spouse encouraged them to get surgery, and actually partly they're motivated to get surgery to be able to do more with their spouse or their family. So in some instances, it might lead to more common habits and strengthen a marriage.
Do you think there should almost be some kind of warning before you get the surgery? I mean, is it to that level? Should you be in counseling? I mean, what do you think? Because again, you see the ads, you read about the positives, but this seems like a factor that you don't always hear about.
Yeah, so this was the first study done in the U.S. looking at marital changes, and I hope that it will prompt pre-surgical education programs to include this information. Already, patients go through extensive kind of preoperative training and education and preparation, and they are told kind of about the standard changes in surgery and the range of changes, but I think this hasn't been included before. I mean, they do discuss changes in interpersonal relationships, but I think this is just something that patients should be made aware of so that they can think about it and decide if they want to try to prepare.
It's a fascinating study. Were there any other surprises that stood out to you?
Well, so we found, in the groups that the married and divorced groups you already talked about, the changes, we actually found those that were cohabitating were way more likely to get married post-surgery than any of the other groups. And so it's possible that they, had plans to get married before the surgery, and this was kind of in preparation for that, or that this was the kind of final step. We also found those that were cohabitating before surgery were much more likely to split. So they were just an unstable group, more likely to have
So you're saying a lot of people were getting the surgery in preparation for an actual wedding?
Well, not necessarily, but it's potential. When you're cohabitating, it's often kind of a stage between being married or splitting up. And so that was the group that changed the most.
So interesting. Yeah.
I think
sorry, go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Sorry, one of the most interesting findings to me was that the degree of weight loss wasn't as much of a predictor of marriage as the improvement in physical health. So those that had the greatest improvement in their physical health were the most likely to get married.
Very interesting. Dr. Wendy King, thank you. We appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.